today we're going to be applying the liquify function to create a surrealistic poster of your imagination. So what is surrealism? It's a 20th century avant-garde movement in art and literature that sought to release the creative potential of the unconscious mind, for example, by the irrational juxtaposition of images. And if you're like me, you're probably thinking, a what? So let's take a look at a few examples of surrealism. You'll notice that they're weird and maybe a little eerie or exciting or dark. Here we have a cat driving a car in the desert with a pineapple strapped to the roof. That's just strange. These are odd and certainly very weird images that are not necessarily grounded in reality. We're going to be striving for that today. We're going to be super creative as we create something that's maybe colorful or desaturated, dark, grim. And we're going to be inspired especially by the work of Salvador Dali. So this is this is weird. This is The Persistence of Memory by Dali, and we're going to be using this as inspiration. It's among his most famous works. Here we see, of course, we have these melted clocks. So let's jump into Photoshop, and here we have a photo I took from the roof of the Google building, and what we're going to do is we're going to isolate just this area of this building right here. We're going to apply the liquify function by pressing Command-Shift-X. And what I'm going to do is what not to do. I'm not interested in you maybe going like this and submitting it and say Drozd. That looks good. I'm done, because this is just super bizarre. This is a little too extreme. We're going to be maybe a little bit more subtle than that. So I'm going to press Command-Shift-X once again. I'm going to make sure that the opacity is up to 100 right now, although we're actually going to change it in a little bit. I'm going to increase the brush size, so let's do this, and maybe we'll just give it a little swirl. So it's still grounded in a little bit of reality, but it's still unique and what it is. It's nothing so distorted that we can't recognize it. So let's grab this clock. I downloaded this from somewhere. What I want is the blacks to be a little darker and the lights to be a little darker. I'm sorry, lights a little lighter. So I'm going to grab it like so. Shift this over. Beautiful. I'm going to use the magic wand. I'm going to select the white exterior. We notice that contiguous is checked, so it's only the white that's touching. Command-Shift-I, Command-C. And let's jump into Photoshop. Wow. Alright, so this is super big, right? I'm going to press Command-T. I'm going to jump to the top. I'm going to click that paperclip. And we've been doing Command-T and then dragging from the corners, but another method is simply just to punch in the specified width and height. So I'm going to drop it to, let's say, about 20. Sure. Let's say 21%. I'm going to press OK. Rectangular marquee. I'm making a selection just over the area that I want to influence. Command-Shift-X. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the freeze mask and the thaw mask tool. These are actually pretty cool. So we'll start with the freeze mask. How does it work? Let's see if good. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to highlight just this area, and the reason I did that is because now if I select the forward warp tool and I'm clicking up here, this red means that I can no longer influence the way it looks. It's like a block. But if I click right here, I can drag down, and anything that doesn't have this red mask on it can be influenced. Alright, so let's go like this. And you're going to want to make it look like it's dripping a little bit. Just a little reference to Salvador Dali. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click right beneath it. We see thaw mask. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this. Beautiful. I'm going to freeze this part now. Alright, I'm going to return to the forward warp tool. And I'm going to go like this. And I'm not sure if I have two images going right now or just one. Anyway, we're sort of creating this like 3D effect with this clock melted on the roof of this building. I'm going to press Command-D to deselect. And that looks And that looks actually kind of cool. If we zoom in a little bit and we want to add a little 3D effect to it to make it seem as if this clock is actually behind this billboard, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to press the number 5 because that means that it's at 50% opacity. I'm actually then just going to go like this, create a quick selection. You can use the magnetic lasso, you can use a polygonal lasso, depending on whatever it is that, whatever sort of shape you're working with. Let's do this. And, all right, great. I'm going to now press 0 for 100%. And now it kind of looks like it's behind the backdrop of this billboard. Whatever, it's not that serious. You know what actually would be kind of cool? Let's try that. All right, so I'm actually going to select the polygonal lasso. I'm going to make a selection right here. And I showed you a few minutes ago, right? If we press Command L, we can pull up this levels window. We've done this a little bit in the past. Let's say we wanted to make it darker. We have this output levels on the bottom. We can actually shift it over. I'm going to press OK. And now all of a sudden, this clock looks like it's got a little bit of a shadow. There's a couple ways you could have done that, but that's probably the easiest. I'm looking for lots of creativity. You're going to pop yourselves into your poster, favorite celebrities. I'm looking for something weird, unique, and creative. Can't wait to see your work. Good luck.